Hey there guys, welcome to another time lapse. This week I'm actually going to be doing Yoshi, which is kind of cool, and going to be using an all black background for this. For this image I'm actually going to be using a little bit of puzzle decoration as well as a little bit of layering decoration, so you can see the image there. And I did have an option of using either the lime green tape or the dark green tape. The actual color of the character is kind of a cross between the two, so I kind of had to decide to go with one of them, and I decided to go with the forest green tape here, or the dark green tape, as you can see. Could have gone, I think, with the lime green. It would have definitely looked a lot different, but I think it would have worked out pretty well as well. But decided to go with the green here, the dark green. So there's actually his two eyes right there. They're right next to each other. I'm working on the two black parts right there, and I need to put a little bit of a gleam in there as well. This is going to actually be the first part of the layering decoration I'm doing, but there is a lot of layering and a lot of puzzle decoration in this one as well. Got a little bit for his nose there. There's just one black dot up there for that, and those are the two little gleams for his eyes. Looks pretty cool. This is going to be this head, obviously. Gonna line it up with the paper there and stick it right down there. And that'll be the first thing that I'm going to work on. So now we're off to a great start. Now I gotta start working on some of the puzzle decoration I'm going to be doing. These are like the kind of the bumps that he has on his head. Those are red. And this will be part of his jaw. And this piece will obviously fit right into the part of the head, just like the puzzle decoration I was talking about. And this is part of his mouth, which will be a little bit of layering decoration there. Working out pretty well for that. He's definitely a very rounded character. There aren't a lot of straight lines with Yoshi, so you kind of have to use a lot of rounding corners when you're cutting out a lot of the pieces for him. And I do have the image pulled up on my computer right to the left of my workstation, so I'm able to kind of look and see exactly where I need to stick these different pieces. And just making sure they all line up appropriately. All of these are really simple puzzle decorations. They kind of just fit right into each other without too much trouble. There's not a lot of complex images, so that means that you can usually fit them into each other a lot easier. And since they're bigger, you can kind of work with them a little bit better than if they were really small. That's always a problem with puzzling decoration, because sometimes it doesn't always fit together when you cut it all out. So there's the decent part of his body. That's going to be the rest of almost the rest of the green part. There's a few little parts in between there. Tell you a cool story about Yoshi, or I guess the name Yoshi. I actually, when I worked down at Pop Century down in Disney, Pop Century Resort, there was a one girl from, I believe it was Japan. I can't remember if it was Japan or China. It was a long time ago, but her name was actually Yoshi, which was, of course, incredibly awesome. But I never got around to it asking her if it was actually her real name or if it was a shortened version of her name. Sometimes if you're at Disney and you have a really long, complex name, they allow you to shorten it for your name tag, or if you can choose like an actual different name and go by that name when you work at Disney for a limited time. We had a lot of girls who were named Ariel down in Pop Century, but they weren't actually named that, but they had a long, complex name. So it just made it a little bit easier for guests to talk to them. So I'm working on his shoes, which are actually kind of a burnt orange color, but of course we only have the blaze orange color, so I'm going to be working on that instead. And I'm going to be using a little bit of Sharpie towards the end here, just to kind of give a little bit of detail to it. And you guys saw me, I used a lot of the Sharpie last week on Knuckles, and I'm going to be using a little bit of it this time. This is kind of, the two parts I cut out right there are kind of like in between towards the back there. It's kind of just the way the image is set up, but there's one more bump on his back, and that's part of what that is. So now you can see me just applying all these together, and there's a little more layering decoration here. And there's his other shoe, obviously. So we got those two, and there's his other arm. Not too much detail, but like I said, I'm going to be adding some of that with the Sharpie there towards the end. This is the bottom of his shoe, and you can tell it's kind of like a dark color there, because that's where the shadow of his shoe is, but it's actually just, it's all yellow, but I'm going to actually have to add a little bit of a line there to kind of, draw some contrast to it. That's the line for his other shoe, because you can't really see the heel of that one. Need to align this up appropriately. Right about there, and this one will stretch all the way around here, kind of just applying it right around the bottom there. And that'll be the trim for his shoe. So now using the Sharpie a little bit, and kind of just making sure you can see all the knuckles and everything. This one was kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what the image was with that on that side there, but that's kind of what it looks like. And now you can see a little bit of his hands, and of course his thumb. And there you go. So hopefully you guys liked the image. That's Yoshi. Pretty cool image to make. Pretty simple, just some puzzling decoration, some layering decoration, and you can see the whole image there. So hopefully you guys liked the video. I'll catch you next time on the channel.